So I'm all set.
You're all set? Okay, let's go. Okay, welcome to the annual general meeting of the Southwest New Brunswick Service Commission. Haven't had one since 2019, so it's really good to have one again. Got a lot to catch up on. We do have quorum, I will just note that. And we do have some visitors watching on YouTube, so welcome to all of you who might be watching. I do have to make a, I guess a friendly amendment, the adoption of the agenda. Yeah. I have to make a friendly amendment here. Our guest speaker is not with us. They came earlier and presented to the board at the regular meeting, so there will be a friendly amendment to the adoption of the agenda. Before we proceed, do any board members have any conflict of interest declarations you are required to declare? No conflicts of interest to know? Okay, then we'll move on to the adoption of the agenda of the 2020 AGM being held tonight as circulated. Motion to accept as circulated by Annette. We have seconder to adopt the agenda with the friendly amendment that we have no guest speaker. Wayne? Perfect. So we have our agenda. Any questions or discussion? Otherwise, to know about the agenda. All in favor of adopting as circulated with the friendly amendment for no guest speaker can raise your hand. Okay. Anybody contrary minded can also raise your hand. Contrary minded. Okay, we have our agenda set. With that, we'll move on to the adoption of the minutes of the April 25th, 2019 annual general meeting. That's 2 years ago. And it was at the train station in Macadam. So they did a job again. We did have some pie. So we have a motion. Who said so moved? Alan. And then we have Way's hand up as a seconder to adopt the minutes as circulated. Any questions or discussion arising with those minutes? None to know. Okay, all in favor of adopting those minutes as circulated, raise your hand. Perfect. Anybody contrary minded can also raise your hand. No, we have our minutes adopted. That move on to the chairpersons. That was actually a joint message from the chair and the executive director. Dear Southwest New Brunswick Service Commission stakeholders, as you all know, I'm not afraid of talking, but I will kind of read this because it sounded good. On behalf of the board of directors and the staff of the Southwest New Brunswick Service Commission, we are pleased, the chair and the executive director, to present the annual report for 2020. Understandably, this past year has presented significant challenges to the governance of SNBSC with the impact of COVID-19 and adjusting to the requirements of operating differently during the pandemic. We're happy to report that the board did not slow down despite the restrictions placed on it. The rapid adoption of video conferencing technology enabled this board to not miss a step in any meetings or committee work. We have adapted as a board 100% using virtual video conference, teleconference, and a hybrid of multi-office and virtual presence to get the job done, along with in-person meetings of small committees, all while observing all the mandatory orders, even as they changed. Except for the fact that we held no AGM, no annual general meeting like we're doing tonight. We didn't hold one last year for the 2019 fiscal year. Other than that, no initiative or regular required work was put off or even delayed due to the changes we had to adapt to. The board adapted as fast as needed, so you are to be commended for that, because not every board can say the same. The organization as a whole, the SNBSC, has kept up with ever-changing response requirements for operations throughout. Because the services we provide are essential, shutting down was never an option. They were able to arrange some work from home opportunities and some more clerical roles for a period of time as needed, and then easily adapted to all the physical arrangements for those who were required to remain on site. As a result, none of the divisions or projects were delayed or stalled. The commission had another successful year of growth. The year started with the development and introduction of the new strategic plan. We met at the Algonquin to work on that just before all the restrictions came in and we couldn't meet again. It was one of our last meetings and it was a good one. And as part of that, we developed a vision and mission statement as well. The direction given in the plan aims high and has goals that will make significant impacts on our region, on the communities, and on our organizational performance. It has its focus on efficiency, fiscal responsibility, and expanded services. Throughout the year of 2020, this plan saw many of its goals initiated, developed, or achieved, and the results are already starting to pay off for the citizens of the region. In the solid waste division of the commission, the Curbside recycling program continues to be a success, although a challenge was encountered in 2020 in respect to the Quebec processors previously taking our recyclables. The COVID-19 restrictions dictated changes in their operation that caused the cost to us to rise significantly. And then to add to the problem, shipping became a bigger challenge, again, as a direct result of some of the restrictions, causing that cost for shipping to rise as well. So the answer came in the form of locating and negotiating with a new processor, this one right inside New Brunswick, where we gained additional efficiencies because the trucks that used to leave empty are now going back with our recyclables to the new processor. We wished our previous processor success and left that door open on good terms in case we need to change our situations again in the future. The landfill continued to expand in a controlled fashion. In 2020, saw the beginning use of the new row of cells that was being constructed, along with the closure of the final cell that was in the first row. The timing for this matched the opening of the newly expanded leachate treatment system, which has set up the landfill for reliable and safe use for many years to come. And now, if you'll remember, that leachate system expansion was part of the gas tax initiative for which we applied and got funding a few years back. The planning department of SNBSC also saw significant growth in the volume of work during 2020. Another community in the region signed on with its development and inspection services from the SNBSC, and we also saw unprecedented levels of building permit activity. A building for the SNBSC was purchased and renovated to house the expanding Department of Planning, and that resulted in actually lower costs in the previous location, and it's definitely a better and more productive work environment. I think Alex will give his thumbs up to that. And all the staff, while they were packed in like sardines at the other one. The Regional and Cooperative Planning Division also advanced during 2020 with further development and steps taken toward an innovative regional cost sharing strategy for recreation support. And we just discussed the fruits of that at our regular board meeting just prior to this AGM. We also saw the grand opening of the first leg of the Coastal Link Trail in St. Stephen. That was a project supported by SNBSC and other partners. The regional housing study was also completed and was recently featured in an article in the local newspaper. The climate adaptation plan, which the SNBSC partnered with Eastern Charlotte Waterways to see come to fruition, was also completed and has become a valuable tool for the SNBSC and for the entire region. So, in conclusion, despite all the unprecedented challenges in 2020, the SNBSC ended the year once again in a healthy financial position and saw further growth. The board of directors and the staff rose to the challenge and once again, adapting with positivity, hard work, and determination to see progress. We would like to sincerely thank all board and committee members for their leadership and dedication to our mission to excel at the provision of regional services, which increase the economic and environmental success of our communities and the quality of life for the residents of the region. We also sincerely thank each and every staff member for their resilience and commitment, because without them, a board can have all the grand ideas in the world, but with no way to see the visions come to fruition for the region. It truly is a team effort, and this commission's board and staff should certainly be proud of the way it proves that we truly are better together. It has been an absolute honor to work with you all through this craziest of times and a year like no other. And we are looking forward to seeing what the next year will bring to this region. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. You've been fabulous. So with that report done, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the presentation of the 2020 audit report and audit financial statements. Alice, can you grab my copy there, hold it up there? Well, I guess I'll just let Mark do it. We adopted it at the regular board meeting just prior to this, so Mark will give us the highlights. Mark, would you
mind doing it up here?
Yes, please.
Microphone can't pick you up way down.
No.
I'll talk a little louder. All right, so the auditors gave us a good audit report for the year ended December 31st, 2020. We ended up with an operating surplus of $339,000. And that was due in part to receiving $840,000 in government transfers for the leachate treatment system. During the year, we spent $2,078,000 on capital assets. So the government gave us $841,000 towards that. Our share of the leachate project itself was $365,000. So in total for the leachate project, we spent $4.5 million of government money, and the $365,000 was the balance we owed. The page 4 on the financial statements is our remeasurement gains and losses statement. And it really reflects the big item is the closure fund investments. So by the end of the year, they had recovered to the same values pretty well they were at the end of the previous year. And our accumulated surplus in total is now $16,988,000. And so that's up slightly. Previous year it was $16,643,000. I think the only other page I'm going to talk about is our reserve funds. So at the end of the year, in the various reserve funds, we have $2,774,000. So we do have a healthy pot of money for future capital expenditures or future operating expenses. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions?
We're in good shape.
Okay.
Thanks, Mark. Oh, okay. Take it off. All right. So with that presentation of the 2020 audit report and audited financial statements and no questions for Mark, we'll move on to the next thing. The selection of auditors. Every year we have to have auditors appointed, and it has to be appointed at the AGM. T. Saunders has agreed to provide our audit services again for the 2021 fiscal year, and the quote is in your package. Hasn't really seen much of an increase from last year, too bad. And so the Finance and Audit Committee is looking for a motion to appoint the auditor.
I would move that we appoint the auditor 2021 year.
Perfect. We have the motion from the chair of the Finance and Audit Committee, seconded by Wade. I see his hand up there. Any questions about what that means? All in favor of appointing T. Saunders Doyle, can raise your hand. Perfect. On the screen. Excellent. Any contrary minded can also raise your hand. We have our auditors appointed. Thank you. Statements of disclosure per our new bylaws. Every board member at the AGM gets a statement of disclosure, your conflict of interest to declare. And so that's in your board package. It can be signed tonight and turned back in. If you want to wait and see how the elections unfold, you can certainly do that as well. But when we come back to the board table, that will be expected to be brought back and submitted. With that, normally at the AGM, we also have election of officers, but once again, because of our bylaws, they do allow for a delay in the vote on officers, simply because what would be the point of electing officers to come back and some of them not be here the next time we meet. So if someone would like to make a motion to delay the election of the executive officers, bylaw 2.5.1 covers that. We had a hand up by Ken first, and then I saw a hand over here by Wayne. Any questions about what that delay means or why we're doing it? None to note. All in favor of delaying the vote on the executive officers for our bylaws, can raise your hand. Okay. Delaying, okay, perfect. You see them on the screen. Excellent. All contrary minded to delay can also raise your hand if you so inclined. None to note. Okay, we have our motion. Any questions from the public calls? None to note. With that, you guys have been fabulous. Have a wonderful 2021, and we'll see you at some point in the future.